The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason is a timeless collection of parables set in ancient Babylon, offering practical lessons on financial wisdom and personal growth. Through engaging stories and relatable characters, the book imparts foundational principles of wealth creation, such as saving, investing, and living within one's means. Rooted in the rich history of Babylon, it presents universal truths that transcend time, teaching readers how to achieve financial stability, build character, and embrace the discipline needed to create lasting prosperity. An historical sketch of Babylon tells the story of one of history's most iconic and enigmatic cities. Known as a cradle of civilization, Babylon stands as a testament to humanity's ability to create prosperity in the face of daunting natural adversities. Situated in the arid valley of the Euphrates, this ancient city defied its geographic limitations to become a symbol of wealth, splendor, and innovation. The valley, bereft of forests, stone, or significant natural trade routes, would hardly seem a promising site for a thriving metropolis. Yet, through engineering ingenuity and the labor of its citizens, Babylon transformed itself into the wealthiest city of its era. The greatness of Babylon arose from its people's resolve to shape their environment. With fertile soil and access to the life-giving Euphrates, its citizens diverted water through an intricate network of irrigation canals. These canals turned the arid land into an agricultural haven capable of producing unparalleled abundance. The engineering marvels of Babylon were not limited to its farmlands. The city was encircled by formidable walls, considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, embodying its emphasis on security and foresight. These defenses were not merely physical barriers but reflections of a society that understood the necessity of protection for sustaining prosperity. What is particularly striking is that Babylon thrived without the conquests and plunder that characterize many historical empires. Its rulers were notable not for their egotistical displays of power but for their wisdom and justice. These monarchs channeled their energies into creating systems of governance, irrigation, and defense that allowed the city to flourish for centuries. Babylon's legacy lives on not in the physical remnants of its walls or temples, which are now but earthen ruins, but in the principles of financial stewardship and resourcefulness its citizens practiced. The endurance of Babylon's wisdom is perhaps its most remarkable gift to humanity. Its citizens understood the laws governing wealth, how to acquire it, how to keep it, and how to make it grow. This ethos, preserved through ancient clay tablets inscribed with their records and teachings, has reached across millennia to offer lessons as relevant today as they were in antiquity. Babylon teaches us that wealth is not the result of chance but of deliberate effort, planning, and the application of timeless principles. The story of this great city serves as both a reminder and an inspiration, urging us to build lives of abundance, not through the exploitation of fortune, but through the disciplined use of what lies within our reach. The man who desired gold introduces us to the story of Bansir, a chariot builder of Babylon, who is deeply disheartened by his financial state. Sitting idly outside his humble home, Bansir contemplates his unfulfilled dreams and the stark reality of his near-empty purse. His wife glances at him anxiously from their doorway, a silent reminder of the household's needs. Despite his laborious work and his craftsmanship in building chariots of high renown, Bansir finds himself devoid of prosperity. He is consumed by a lingering question. Why, in the richest city of the world, should he, a hard-working man, live in such want? His reverie is interrupted by his closest friend, Kabi, a musician. Kabi, too, is trapped in the same plight, longing for the riches that seem to surround them but are always out of reach. Their conversation reveals a shared frustration, a realization that despite the riches of Babylon, their lives have not been touched by the wealth that others seem to enjoy. Kabi jokes about Bansir's sudden idleness, but their banter quickly turns serious as both admit to a sense of futility in their financial pursuits. Bansir recounts a dream in which he was wealthy, free to bestow coins to beggars and indulge in luxuries. But upon waking, the hollowness of his reality has only intensified his longing for change. Kabi suggests that they are like sheep, grazing aimlessly while surrounded by plenty. The two lament their shared plight, recognizing that a lifetime of hard work has brought little reward. They begin to question the fairness of their circumstances and the nature of wealth itself. Why do some accumulate vast riches while others remain perpetually poor, despite working no less diligently? Their musings lead them to a powerful conclusion. The problem lies not in their labor but in their understanding of money and its laws. Inspired by this epiphany, they resolve to seek out the wisdom of Arkad, the richest man in Babylon. Arkad, a childhood friend, has risen to unparalleled wealth and success. They recall his generosity and the respect he commands across the city. If anyone holds the key to the mysteries of wealth, it must be Arkad. Filled with a renewed sense of purpose, Bansir and Kabi decide not only to seek Arkad's guidance, but to invite other friends, equally trapped in poverty, to join them in learning the secrets of prosperity. This chapter sets the stage for the unfolding lessons of the book by illustrating the discontent of those who toil without understanding the principles of wealth. It captures the universal yearning for financial security and highlights the importance of seeking knowledge as the first step toward transformation. The story of Bansir and Kabi is a reminder that ambition alone is not enough. One must also seek wisdom to chart a path out of scarcity and into abundance. The Richest Man in Babylon introduces us to Arkad, the man who has achieved what many in Babylon only dream of: immense wealth coupled with generosity and wisdom. Arkad's name is whispered with both admiration and envy throughout the city, for he not only possesses riches beyond imagination but is also known for his liberal charities and unyielding growth in prosperity. However, his ascent to wealth was not one of privilege or inheritance, but the result of deliberate learning and discipline, a fact that intrigues and inspires his friends. The chapter begins with Arkad's old companions from youth confronting him about the disparity in their fortunes. They reminisce about their shared beginnings equal in education, status, and opportunity. Yet, while they have toiled for mere subsistence, Arkad has soared to become Babylon's wealthiest citizen. They demand to know why fortune has favored him while seemingly ignoring them, despite their comparable efforts and virtues. Arkad, ever gracious, dispels their belief in fickle fate as the architect of his wealth. Instead, he explains that his success lies in his understanding and adherence to the immutable laws of money, principles that they, too, can learn if they choose. Arkad recounts his own humble beginnings as a scribe, laboring over clay tablets for meager pay. Despite his hard work, he found his purse perpetually empty, his earnings consumed by living expenses and fleeting pleasures. Frustrated, he resolved to seek the wisdom that could guide him toward wealth. His opportunity came in the form of a deal with Algamish, a wealthy moneylender, who offered Arkad financial advice in exchange for a grueling night of work. When Arkad completed his task, Algamish imparted his first and most crucial lesson: a part of all you earn is yours to keep. This simple yet profound statement planted the seed of Arkad's financial transformation. Algamish explained that most men work for others, the sandal maker for the sandal wearer, the baker for the eater of bread, but few reserve a portion of their earnings for themselves. Arkad took this advice to heart, committing to save at least 1/10 of all he earned. Over time, this small but consistent act of saving became the cornerstone of his growing wealth. However, Arkad's journey was not without its setbacks. Early in his efforts to grow his savings, he entrusted his money to a brickmaker for investment in jewels, only to lose it all due to the brickmaker's lack of expertise. This costly mistake taught Arkad the importance of seeking advice only from those skilled in the field of investment. From then on, he sought the guidance of experienced traders and financiers, ensuring his money was wisely employed. As the years passed, Arkad's wealth multiplied, not through luck but through the compounding power of disciplined saving, prudent investment, and wise counsel. He reminds his friends that wealth is not an overnight phenomenon but the result of persistent effort and adherence to proven principles. Arkad's story concludes with an invitation. Those who are willing to learn and apply the same laws of money can achieve similar success. This chapter weaves together the themes of accountability, discipline, and the power of knowledge. It dismantles the myth of sudden fortune and replaces it with the reassuring truth that wealth is accessible to anyone willing to learn and apply the right principles. Arkad's humility and willingness to share his wisdom reflect the spirit of the book, positioning him not just as the richest man in Babylon, but as a mentor to all who aspire to financial independence. In 7 Cures for a Lean Purse, Arkad steps into the role of a teacher, summoned by the king of Babylon to address the widespread financial woes of the city's citizens. The king, observing the prosperity of a few amid the struggles of many, resolves that the secrets of wealth must be taught to all. Arkad, known for his remarkable success, is tasked with imparting the principles that transformed him from a poor scribe into the wealthiest man in Babylon. In a gathering of 100 eager students, Arkad begins a series of lessons designed to cure their lean purses and guide them toward financial abundance. The 7 cures he reveals are simple yet profoundly effective, offering not just theoretical insights but practical steps that anyone can follow. The first cure, Start Thy Purse to Fattening, emphasizes the foundational principle of saving. Arkad advises that no less than 1/10 of all earnings should be set aside as a personal treasure. He compares this habit to filling a basket with eggs, explaining that consistently saving a portion of one's income will, over time, create a surplus that serves as the seed for greater wealth. He stresses that this small act of discipline is the cornerstone upon which all prosperity is built. The second cure, Control Thy Expenditures, addresses the human tendency to let expenses rise to meet income. Arkad counsels his students to differentiate between necessities and desires, ensuring that their earnings are not squandered on fleeting pleasures. By carefully budgeting and living within their means, they can protect their growing savings while still enjoying a modest share of life's pleasures. The third cure, Make Thy Gold Multiply, shifts the focus from saving to investing. Arkad explains that idle gold is of little value, but gold put to work in sound investments can generate additional income. He likens money to a servant that, when wisely employed, can produce children earnings that, in turn, generate even more wealth. This principle of compounding forms the basis of long-term financial growth. The fourth cure, Guard Thy Treasures from Loss, cautions against reckless investments and the allure of schemes promising unrealistic returns. Arkad shares his own hard-earned lesson of entrusting his savings to the wrong people, urging his students to seek advice only from those with proven expertise. Protecting one's wealth is as vital as acquiring it. The fifth cure, Make of Thy Dwelling a Profitable Investment, advocates for homeownership. Arkad explains that owning a home not only reduces living costs but also provides a sense of security and pride. A man who owns his dwelling is not at the mercy of landlords and can invest his savings into improvements that enhance his property's value. The sixth cure, Ensure a Future Income, introduces the concept of preparing for old age and unforeseen circumstances. Arkad advises his students to make provisions for their later years, ensuring that they can live comfortably even when their ability to earn diminishes. He speaks of the importance of planning for dependence, highlighting the stability that comes from building a financial legacy. Finally, the seventh cure, Increase Thy Ability to Earn, underscores the value of self-improvement. Arkad encourages his students to continually invest in their skills and knowledge, which can lead to higher earnings and greater opportunities. A man who improves his abilities not only enriches himself but becomes a more valuable member of society. Each of these cures is woven together by a common thread: the power of deliberate action and the discipline to follow through. Arkad's teachings reveal that wealth is not the domain of the lucky but the reward of those who understand and apply its timeless laws. The chapter resonates as a beacon of hope, reminding readers that financial transformation is within reach for anyone willing to take the necessary steps. Through these 7 cures, Arkad hands his students and, by extension, the reader a map to prosperity, rooted in universal truths that transcend time and circumstance. In Meet the Goddess of Good Luck, Arkad shifts the conversation from the mechanics of wealth building to the elusive and often misunderstood concept of luck. The chapter begins with an assembly of men in the Temple of Learning, gathered to discuss how to attract good fortune. Their musings reflect a common belief: luck is a capricious force, bestowing its blessings at random. Yet Arkad, with his characteristic wisdom, challenges this notion and guides the group toward a deeper understanding of what it truly means to be lucky. Arkad opens by acknowledging humanity's universal yearning for good luck. The idea of chance happenings that bring wealth and success has always captivated the imagination. but he questions whether luck is truly an external force or whether it can be influenced by individual actions. To investigate, Arkad invites the men to share their experiences of luck moments when fortune unexpectedly smiled upon them. The room falls silent. No one can recall a significant instance of good luck that came without effort. This revelation leads Arkad to introduce the idea that luck is not a random gift but a result of seizing opportunities. He shares stories to illustrate his point, contrasting men who acted decisively with those who hesitated or ignored chances altogether. One such tale involves a farmer who delayed purchasing a promising tract of land, only to see it later sold for a massive profit. The farmer lamented his bad luck, but Arkad reveals it was his procrastination, not fate, that denied him the reward. This narrative underscores a key lesson. Good fortune is often disguised as opportunity, and only those with the courage and initiative to act will benefit from it. As the discussion deepens, Arkad explains that the goddess of good luck favors men of action. She smiles upon those who prepare themselves to recognize and seize opportunities when they arise. He advises the group to develop habits of decisiveness and diligence, for these qualities naturally attract the circumstances others might attribute to luck. He also warns against idleness and procrastination, which repel opportunity and ensure misfortune. Arkad's wisdom shifts the perspective of his audience, challenging them to view luck not as a mystical force but as a reflection of their own readiness and resolve. He draws a poignant distinction. While games of chance may bring fleeting gains, lasting success comes from calculated effort and the ability to capitalize on life's chances. Luck, then, is not a matter of chance but of preparation meeting opportunity. This chapter resonates as a call to action, urging readers to abandon the passive hope for luck and instead cultivate the habits that attract it. Arkad's teachings demystify fortune, revealing that its favor is not granted to the idle dreamer but earned by the industrious and bold. In the end, the goddess of good luck is not a whimsical deity, but a silent ally to those who dare to act, turning their aspirations into tangible rewards. In the 5 Laws of Gold, Arkad presents a timeless framework for acquiring, preserving, and multiplying wealth. This chapter unfolds as a lesson within a story, as Arkad recounts the wisdom he imparted to his son, Nomacer, upon sending him into the world. Rather than simply gifting him his fortune, Arkad ensures that Nomacer understands the principles of wealth, providing him with 2 treasures, a bag of gold and a clay tablet inscribed with 5 laws. These laws serve as a compass, guiding Nomacer on how to use his inheritance wisely and avoid the pitfalls that so often lead to ruin. The first law of gold declares that wealth comes readily to those who save at least 1/10 of their earnings. Arkad emphasizes the importance of consistent saving, likening gold to a loyal companion that multiplies when nurtured. This law forms the foundation of financial success, teaching that the habit of setting aside a portion of one's income is the seed from which greater riches grow. The second law explains that gold works diligently for the wise owner who finds it profitable employment. Arkad describes money as a servant that, when invested wisely, labors to produce more wealth. This principle underscores the necessity of putting savings to work, transforming idle money into a source of steady income. The compounding effect of sound investments is key to building lasting prosperity. The third law advises that gold clings to the protection of its cautious owner. This principle is a call for prudence, warning against reckless ventures and urging individuals to seek advice from those experienced in handling money. Arkad recounts his own lessons in learning to distinguish between sound and risky opportunities, highlighting that preserving one's capital is just as important as growing it. The fourth law cautions that gold slips away from those who invest it in ventures or with individuals unfamiliar with the enterprise. Arkad explains that misplaced trust or ignorance often leads to financial loss. He emphasizes the value of specialized knowledge and due diligence, reminding his audience that a lack of understanding can transform even the most promising venture into a disaster. The fifth law warns that gold flees from those who attempt to force it into impossible gains or follow the alluring schemes of tricksters. Arkad denounces greed and the false promises of get-rich-quick opportunities, urging restraint and realism. He reminds his listeners that wealth built steadily and wisely will endure, while reckless gambles often lead to ruin. Through these 5 laws, Arkad equips Nomacer and, by extension, the reader with the wisdom needed to master the art of wealth. Nomacer's journey provides a vivid example of how these principles are tested in practice. Initially, he loses his gold due to youthful ignorance and poor decisions, but by returning to the guidance of the 5 laws, he rebuilds his fortune and secures a position of respect and influence. His story serves as a testament to the enduring power of Arkad's teachings. This chapter captures the essence of financial stewardship, blending timeless truths with vivid storytelling. The 5 laws are not merely rules but guiding principles that, when followed, ensure both material wealth and personal fulfillment. They illuminate the path from ignorance to mastery, offering a roadmap for anyone seeking to turn their financial aspirations into enduring realities. Through these laws, Arkad's wisdom transcends time, providing a legacy that empowers future generations to thrive. In The Gold Lender of Babylon, the narrative shifts to explore the intricate dynamics of lending, borrowing, and the responsibilities that come with wealth. The story introduces Fatten, a humble spearmaker of Babylon, who finds himself unexpectedly enriched when the king rewards him with 50 pieces of gold for a well-crafted spear design. Overwhelmed by the sudden acquisition of wealth, Fatten becomes conflicted about how to manage his fortune. In particular, he wrestles with a request from his sister, who asks him to lend the gold to her husband so he can start a business. Uncertain about the wisdom of this request, Fatten seeks the counsel of Fatten, a seasoned gold lender renowned for his prudence. Fatten welcomes Fatten warmly and begins to share the principles that govern his own approach to lending. To illustrate his points, Fatten opens his token chest, which contains a variety of objects pledged as security for loans. Each item holds a story, representing the successes and failures of those who have borrowed gold from him. Through these stories, Fatten reveals key lessons. He explains that the safest loans are those made to individuals with tangible assets or proven earning capacities. Borrowers who can offer collateral or have a reliable income are more likely to repay their debts, ensuring that the lender's gold is safeguarded. Conversely, loans to those who lack experience, resources, or discipline often result in loss, as these individuals are ill-equipped to use the money wisely or repay it. Fatten emphasizes the importance of understanding the borrower's character and intentions. He recounts instances where well-meaning but inexperienced borrowers squandered their loans on ill-conceived ventures, leaving both themselves and the lender worse off. These cautionary tales highlight the perils of lending to those who lack the knowledge or resolve to succeed. When Fatten shares his sister's request, Fatten offers a pragmatic perspective. While acknowledging the noble desire to help family, he cautions against jeopardizing one's own financial security for the sake of others. He advises Fatten to evaluate whether his sister's husband possesses the skills, experience, and determination necessary to succeed in the proposed business. If not, lending him the gold would likely result in its loss, creating hardship for both Fatten and his family. Fatten's wisdom is encapsulated in a simple yet profound principle. Better a little caution than a great regret. This chapter delves into the emotional complexities of wealth, illustrating the tension between generosity and responsibility. It teaches that wealth carries not only opportunities but also obligations to oneself, to others, and to the principles that sustain prosperity. Fatten's guidance serves as a reminder that the act of lending is not merely a financial transaction but a reflection of judgment, foresight, and discipline. Ultimately, Fatten's story offers a nuanced exploration of the challenges that arise when sudden wealth intersects with familial loyalty and societal expectations. It underscores the importance of balancing compassion with practicality, ensuring that one's generosity does not undermine their ability to maintain and grow their wealth. Through Fatten's teachings, readers are invited to approach lending and borrowing with wisdom, recognizing that the stewardship of gold requires both intellect and heart. In The Walls of Babylon, the narrative shifts to an allegorical tale that underscores the timeless human need for security and protection. The story begins in a moment of great tension as the mighty city of Babylon is under siege. Its citizens, frightened and uncertain, crowd the streets, desperate for reassurance. The Assyrian armies, vast in number and relentless in their assault, have surrounded the city, battering its gates and attempting to scale its towering walls. The citizens turn to the defenders stationed at the walls, particularly to the stoic and resolute Banzer, a veteran soldier who stands watch at a critical passageway. As the citizens gather around Banzer, their fears spill forth in frantic questions. Will the walls hold? What will happen to their families and possessions if the enemy breaches the city? Despite the chaos and the grim reports from the battlefield, Banzer remains calm and steadfast. To each anxious inquiry, his response is unwavering. The walls of Babylon will protect you. His confidence in the city's fortifications reflects not only the physical strength of the walls, but also the collective wisdom, foresight, and effort that went into building them. The narrative vividly describes the relentless attacks on the city and the bravery of its defenders. Burning oil is poured on the climbing attackers, arrows fly in deadly volleys, and the battering rams relentlessly pound the gates. The walls of Babylon, built with meticulous care and designed to withstand even the most ferocious assault, stand firm. For 3 weeks, the citizens endure the siege, their hopes anchored in the strength of the walls. Finally, the Assyrian armies retreat, defeated by the unyielding defenses of the city. The tale is more than a recounting of Babylon's military triumph. It is a metaphor for the importance of safeguards in life. Just as the walls protected the city's inhabitants from external threats, so too must individuals build walls to protect their own lives from unforeseen dangers. These walls are not made of bricks and mortar but of wise financial practices, savings, and prudent planning. Arkad, through this story, teaches that life is fraught with uncertainties: illness, accidents, financial hardships, and only those who prepare in advance can withstand them without despair. The story of Babylon's walls serves as a powerful reminder that security is not a luxury but a necessity. It highlights the importance of creating strong foundations, whether they be physical, financial, or emotional, to ensure stability in times of crisis. The wisdom of the Babylonians lay not only in their ability to accumulate wealth but also in their foresight to protect it. This chapter challenges readers to adopt the same vigilance, urging them to build their own defenses against life's unpredictable challenges. In the end, the walls of Babylon becomes a timeless parable about preparation and resilience. Just as the citizens of Babylon found safety behind their impregnable walls, individuals today can find peace of mind by safeguarding their lives with sound planning and disciplined habits. The story leaves us with the enduring lesson that true prosperity is not just about amassing riches but about protecting what has been built with care and effort. In The Camel Trader of Babylon, the story takes a deeply personal and transformative turn as it follows Dabasir, a man who moves from the depths of despair to redemption through courage, self-discipline, and a renewed sense of responsibility. The tale begins with Dabasir recounting his humble beginnings and the reckless decisions that led him to financial ruin. Once a prosperous man, Dabasir succumbed to the allure of a lavish lifestyle, spending far beyond his means and falling into deep debt. As creditors pursued him relentlessly, he fled Babylon in shame, leaving behind a life of honor and responsibility. Dabasir's path takes him to the distant lands of Syria, where his fortunes sink further, and he is eventually captured and sold into slavery. Stripped of his freedom, dignity, and all vestiges of his former life, he is purchased by a desert chief to serve as a camel tender. It is here, in the barren expanse of the desert, that Dabasir begins to confront his own failings. His master's wife, Sira, becomes an unlikely source of wisdom, challenging Dabasir to examine the soul within him. She asks him bluntly, "Have you the soul of a free man or the soul of a slave?" This question strikes at the core of his identity, forcing him to reckon with the choices that led to his enslavement. Haunted by her words, Dabasir begins to realize that his debts were not his true enemies, it was his own weakness, his inability to confront and manage his obligations, that had brought him low. He recognizes that the soul of a free man does not shirk responsibility but faces it head-on. This moment of clarity marks a turning point. With Sira's help, he escapes from slavery and makes the arduous journey back to Babylon, driven by a renewed resolve to repay his debts and reclaim his honor. Upon his return, Dabasir seeks out his creditors, humbly explaining his circumstances and offering a plan to settle his debts. He divides his income into 3 parts: 1/10 to save, 7/10 for living expenses, and 2/10 to repay his obligations. Though the road is long and difficult, he persists, gaining the respect of his creditors and the admiration of his peers. Through discipline and determination, he not only clears his debts but rebuilds his life, proving that redemption is possible for anyone willing to embrace responsibility. The story of Dabasir is a powerful allegory of personal transformation. It teaches that financial ruin, though devastating, is not insurmountable. The path to recovery lies in acknowledging one's mistakes, devising a clear plan, and committing to it with unwavering resolve. Dabasir's journey also illustrates the profound connection between financial health and personal integrity. To regain his standing, he had to rebuild not only his wealth but his sense of self-worth. This chapter serves as a beacon of hope for those who feel overwhelmed by debt or past mistakes. It demonstrates that no matter how dire the circumstances, the soul of a free man, the spirit of responsibility and self-determination can overcome any challenge. Dabasir's story reminds readers that freedom is not merely the absence of physical chains, but the ability to face life's trials with courage and conviction. Through his example, the narrative delivers an enduring lesson about the power of redemption and the transformative impact of taking ownership of one's life. In the clay tablets from Babylon, the story of Dabasir continues, but this time through a remarkable discovery that bridges ancient wisdom and modern application. The chapter begins with a letter written by a professor at St. Swithin's College in Nottingham University, recounting his fascination with a set of clay tablets unearthed in the ruins of Babylon. The inscriptions, painstakingly translated, reveal a personal account from Dabasir, the very man whose journey from slave to financial redemption was explored earlier. Through these clay tablets, Dabasir's systematic plan for paying off his debts and restoring his honor is immortalized, offering practical guidance that resonates across centuries. The tablets record Dabasir's reflections as he crafts a disciplined plan to repay his creditors while rebuilding his financial stability. Recognizing the importance of balance in his life, he divides his earnings into 3 distinct portions. First, he commits 1/10 of his income to personal savings, fulfilling the foundational principle that a part of all you earn is yours to keep. This practice symbolizes not only financial prudence but also self-respect, as it allows him to secure a future for himself and his family. Second, Dabasir allocates 7/10 of his income to cover his household expenses. This portion ensures that his family's needs are met without extravagance, reinforcing the importance of living within one's means. Dabasir acknowledges that while sacrifices are necessary, a modest degree of comfort and enjoyment can coexist with financial discipline. The remaining 2/10 are dedicated to repaying his debts, distributed proportionally among his creditors. Dabasir understands that honoring his obligations, even in small increments, restores trust and dignity. He writes candidly about his interactions with creditors, some sympathetic, others less forgiving, but he remains steadfast in his commitment to repay every last coin. His plan is as much about rebuilding his character as it is about settling his financial accounts. What makes the clay tablets remarkable is the universality of Dabasir's approach. The principles inscribed on them are not bound by time or geography. They are timeless truths applicable to anyone facing financial difficulties. The professor who translates the tablets, inspired by Dabasir's story, decides to apply these same principles to his own life. He and his wife, burdened by debt, adopt Dabasir's method of dividing their income. To their astonishment, the plan not only allows them to repay their creditors, but also enables them to save and improve their quality of life. The professor marvels at the enduring relevance of Dabasir's wisdom, which transforms their despair into hope and their struggles into triumph. This chapter underscores the profound simplicity of effective financial management. It shows that even in the face of overwhelming debt, a disciplined approach can create a pathway to freedom. Dabasir's story, immortalized in clay, transcends its historical context to become a universal lesson in responsibility and perseverance. His example teaches that wealth is not merely about accumulation but about the balance of saving, spending, and fulfilling obligations. The clay tablets, with their blend of personal struggle and pragmatic solutions, serve as a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. They remind readers that the challenges of managing money are not new. They have been faced and overcome by countless individuals throughout history. Through Dabasir's words, etched into the tablets, the chapter inspires readers to confront their financial realities with honesty, courage, and a commitment to the principles that lead to lasting stability. In The Luckiest Man in Babylon, the narrative turns reflective as Sharunada, a prosperous merchant prince, journeys to Babylon at the head of his caravan. Accompanying him is Hayden Gula, the youthful grandson of his late business partner, Arad Gula. The young man, adorned with fine robes and jewels, embodies the decadence and carelessness that Sharunada finds troubling. Hayden Gula's indifference to work and his disdain for the labor that built Babylon's wealth provoke Sharunada to recount a deeply personal story, a tale of struggle, resilience, and the transformative power of effort. The conversation begins with Hayden Gula dismissing the value of work, imagining a life of leisure and indulgence as the ultimate fulfillment. Sharunada, seeing an opportunity to impart a life-altering lesson, shares his own humble beginnings as a slave. He reveals to the astonished youth that he, once a free man, had fallen into servitude due to his brother's crimes and his family's inability to pay a debt. Sold to labor on the great walls of Babylon, Sharunada found himself at the lowest point of his life, chained and desolate, yet unwilling to succumb to despair. It was here, amid the relentless toil of carrying bricks, that Sharunada encountered Megiddo, a fellow slave who profoundly influenced his outlook. Megiddo viewed work not as a punishment but as a tool for redemption and progress. His philosophy was simple: work well and work willingly, for it is through effort that one builds character and earns the favor of opportunity. Inspired by Megiddo's words, Sharunada resolved to embrace work as his path to freedom. He sought to distinguish himself as a valuable slave, a man of reliability and discipline. In time, his diligence caught the attention of a kind master, Nananade, a baker who purchased Sharunada and allowed him to learn the trade of bread-making. Sharunada excelled in this role, mastering not only the craft but also the art of managing resources and sales. Soon, he proposed an arrangement to his master. He would sell honey cakes on the streets of Babylon during his free time, sharing the profits. This entrepreneurial endeavor proved so successful that Sharunada began saving money, piece by piece, toward buying his freedom. Sharunada's tale is one of persistence. He recounts the small yet meaningful milestones he achieved, earning his master's trust, amassing enough savings to regain his freedom, and eventually becoming a merchant in his own right. Along the way, he encountered Arad Gula, Hayden's grandfather, who was also a slave but shared Sharunada's drive to rise above his circumstances. Together, they supported one another, building wealth and forging a partnership that would define their legacies. The story leaves Hayden Gula speechless, confronted with the stark contrast between his grandfather's grit and his own complacency. Sharunada concludes by challenging the young man to reflect on the values that brought wealth and honor to his family. He reminds Hayden Gula that true fortune is not found in fleeting indulgences, but in the discipline, ambition, and industriousness that create lasting success. This chapter is both a parable and a call to action, emphasizing that the soul of a free man is forged in the fires of effort and perseverance. Sharunada's life demonstrates that luck, often celebrated as the root of success, is merely the result of seizing opportunities through hard work and preparation. By confronting Hayden Gula with this truth, the story underscores the generational duty to honor and uphold the values that lead to prosperity. The Luckiest Man in Babylon resonates as a testament to the transformative power of labor and the enduring rewards of integrity and ambition. It reminds readers that wealth, though desirable, is hollow without the character and determination that sustain it. Through Sharunada's journey, the chapter inspires us to redefine luck, seeing it not as a chance occurrence but as the reward for courage, effort, and the will to overcome. The tales of the richest man in Babylon culminate in an enduring message. Wealth is not a gift of chance but the reward of discipline, wisdom, and effort. Through timeless principles of saving, investing, and acting decisively, the book reminds us that prosperity lies within reach of all who commit to its laws. Whether through Arkad's teachings, Dabasir's redemption, or Sharunada's resilience, The stories illuminate that true fortune is built not just on gold, but on character, persistence, and the courage to seize life's opportunities. It is a call to take ownership of one's destiny, proving that the soul of a free man can rise above any adversity.